Hello and welcome to this nighttime taste challenge. Still dark here, might be getting toward or at dawn on the East Coast if you live in Maryland, something like that. Okay, but anyway, 40% alcohol brandies. My nose is clearing up a little bit, better than last night. Still got a ways to go though. I don't, some kind of allergy, I think, or a cold, but I don't know. It's strange. Anyway, Hartley V.S.O.P. Very smooth old pale, made with imported brandy. There's the Italian flag. I don't know where the Italian brandy is coming from. It's got natural flavors, caramel color. I don't know why they bothered to bring in brandy from over the ocean, as a beer reviewer says, over the ocean, but they do. So I got this for $8.99 on discount at Winn-Dixie. It's that price to the end of the month, till the 29th, actually, not quite the end of the month. Here's 1889 Royal V.S. Bought this at Total Wine and More. Very smooth. It says similar product, brandy with natural flavors and caramel color. There's the bottle. They only had this big handle bottle, so that was my choice. They're both bottled in Kentucky. I don't know if they're flavored there. They don't specify that, but I get the impression that that's the case. Now, they don't say where the brandy is distilled on that bottle. Could be from California. The trademark information from, hold on a second. Ronnie S. says, hello, good morning, sunshine. That looks like a good matchup. I think you're right. Won't be a great matchup, but good, suitable. I think the Hartley is going to win. So the trademark office says this was the trademark was acquired in 2016. But there's another brandy listed called Old 1889 Brandy from 1915. And I saw an ad for it from around that time, old magazine or newspaper ad, black and white ad. So it could be a case where there was a brandy called Old 1889 Brandy from California. I know it was from California, and the company went away during Prohibition, and you know what I'm saying? And then, because it said the trademark was abandoned. Okay, we see the Heaven Hill is darker. The 1889 is darker. The Hartley is very pale, pale relative to that one. I think it's a case where there was a trademark, there was a company, they went out of business during Prohibition, and the trademark went defunct because they said it was abandoned and not renewed at some point. And then that would open it up to anybody to take over that. And then I think Heaven Hill might have gone looking through some old records and saw that they had this thing, and they said, well, let's use that as a product for us. And then the company doesn't exist anymore, so they're not going to challenge them, and they brought it back. That's my feeling. Okay, but I can't prove it. We'll look at the website. It won't be much to see. Sazerac doesn't even bother listing Hartley anymore. They used to have a website for it, but a web page for it. This is it. 1880 brandy with natural flavors, distilled spirit specialty, 80 proof. You get it in the big jug or the 750. I would have preferred the 750, but they didn't have it. And they're listed as a distilled specialty, I guess because they're adding flavoring and coloring, which still would not disqualify it as brandy, because if you read your regulations, it says they're allowed to have flavoring and coloring added, and they don't have. But Heaven Hill might have decided, look, it's too much trouble to go and research each time we do a product to see if it can be flavored or can't be flavored. So they just blanket call it a DSS when they register it with the U.S. government. A distilled spirit specialty is any liquor that doesn't fit a category, which this would fit a category. I'm saying they just listed that way to avoid any mishaps. Bourbon cannot have flavoring and color added, all right? But they do have bourbons with flavoring and coloring added. It'll say bourbon with natural flavoring and coloring added. Then you say, well, that violates the law. It violates the regulations, but they're not listing it as a bourbon. See, they're listed as a distilled spirit specialty, a special product. So if you ask the company, is this a bourbon? They'd say, no, it's a bourbon with natural flavors and caramel color. See, that's how to get around it. The U.S. government doesn't care. As long as it's slotted correctly and it's sell, they want the tax revenue. So they're not going to tell them no. They're just going to say no unless you do this, and then they do it, so they sell it. Okay. And that's how that works. All right, so basically they can make anything they want as long as it's safe, not, poisonous or harmful in some way, and as long as they register correctly. Okay, Sazerac has this just, from what I've seen, just brandy. Okay, but maybe not. Maybe they put DSS on it. I'd have to look at the cartons carefully, the packaging. Usually wouldn't be on the bottle, but it'll be on the carton that they ship, the case, the 12-pack. Well, if it's the handles, it'll be a 6-pack. If it's the case of 12, well, of course, it'll be a 12-pack. And it'll say on there, it'll either say bourbon or brandy, or it'll say DSS, and then it'll give you the DSP, that's distilled plant number, whatever. And then it'll have like KY Kentucky. So that's how you can track it, where it came from. Okay. Price. Yeah, about the same. This one was $19.99, I believe. $18.99. I think the price has gone up a little bit. Hartley, $8.99. I don't know the price for the handle, but I could find out very quickly. Let's go to Shop Winn-Dixie. That could change next year with the way they've been mixing things up since the Aldi buyout. But people keep saying the Winn-Dixie in this town's going to close, but they've been saying that for a year, and I go in there and I'm like, it doesn't look like it's going to close to me. Anyway, but it's rumors. They have closed some. They closed one in Metairie on US Highway 61, and it's now going to be turned into an Aldi. Well, they're only showing the interesting. They're only showing the 750. Well, I know I've seen the big bottles at Winn-Dixie. They might have cut them. May not have been moving as well. And interesting, they're showing the old bottle where they had the V.S.O.P in gold. I'll show you that real fast. The blue label, but it may be a little more difficult to see it. So they put it inside the blue banner. So see the old bottle? They're showing the old bottle. Hartley V.S.O.P. And it's gold on a clear bottle with tan background, so it kind of perhaps makes it harder to see. And then the lettering on the banner was gold, so they changed it. All right. And that was just an update for the label, make it a little, like I said, a little easier to visual. Just like Louisiana highway signs. In 1998, they started bringing in the new black and white signs. It used to be green and white, but there was one little problem. They look nice, but there was one little problem with green and white. Most of Louisiana is greenery, you know, a green forest, green swamp, and you got a green highway sign. It almost like camouflages the sign into the background. So I think state officials noticed that it almost made like a blinding visual. So after all those years of being green, green and white, they changed it in '98 to black and white, which is much easier to see with the background. Yes, you can drive around Louisiana and see some old green and white signs here and there that they forgot to change. Now that does happen, but it's a rarity. But you can find them. I know where one is. Welcome back, having a cup of Joe, says Wesley. I drank my 3 cups of coffee this morning, and I really enjoyed it. Helped me feel better. It didn't totally clear up my nose, but it's clearing up. You know, it'll take another day, I guess. Should be all right. Okay, aroma. If I could pick it up, I could smell. You know, when I was eating the eggs and sausage, I could smell it. Just my nose was stuffy. No, all mine. Yeah, it doesn't smell like much. Kind of neutral with a little grape background. Jean-Pierre said he can't stand to drink brandy unless it's in a hot toddy. He just doesn't like it neat. But I don't think he's much of a wine person anyway, so that would I'll drink about 2 ounces of wine each day. So yeah, to each his own. Everybody doesn't like the same things. This one smells very flavored, like very vanilla flavor. And I'm gonna tell you, I was not impressed with this one. I thought Heaven Hill went way overboard. Like, okay, you add a little flavoring to the product, it's allowed. The government says you can do it with brandy and rum, fine. But they just went like to make it. They made it taste like a vanilla drink. I just thought they went crazy with it. They need to tighten up that quality control on it, unless they think that's what people want to drink. But I got this whole big thing here, and I got to get through it. Take forever. It's kind of like that doggone stuff from Texas. That what's that blended whiskey I bought? That big jug with the similar gold label, similar jug, same bottle. Might be from the same bottling company, you know, glass company, but the handle on the back. It's common. That's a common bottle you see around. Probably come from the same supplier. But I start tasting the whiskey. It tastes like pickle juice. And I'm like, what? Well, come to find out, the company that makes that whiskey, their biggest product is pickle flavored whiskey and vodka. Pickle flavored vodka. It's called Texacraft, pickle flavored vodka. I see it at Mathern's. They got the hot, you know, the spicy version and the regular. And it probably tastes fine if you like pickle. But I'm thinking to myself, are y'all kidding me? You didn't even clean your equipment. They probably used the same equipment that they had done with the pickle juice, because you know they add in pickle juice from, like, you know, Best Made Pickles or whatever, a Texas brand. And it's tainting the whiskey, making it taste like pickle juice. So I would never in my life confuse that whiskey with any other product that I had, any other whiskey product. So every time I do a taste challenge, it's not a challenge, because I'll say tastes like pickles. There it is. So that was really a waste of money, $19.99 for the bottle. And you know, it's so improper the way they did it. But I say, well, it's called Texas 254. That's what it's called, Texas 254, because of 254 counties in Texas. Now, on its own, it might be, if it was done properly, it might be good. It might be a good product. But you look at photos of the facility, it's pretty small and just a metal building, and it's looked like they're running on a shoestring budget. Backwoods Craft Brewery is what it's called. Backwoods Craft Distillery. Backwoods Craft Distillery. But I mean, yeah, that was a failure. Almost tempted to dump it out, but all right, taste. Liam Gillespie, morning, Ron. Wishing you good beer and Merry Christmas. Thank you, and the same back to you. All right, this tastes Tastes like the current. I say the current because I know they've improved Hartley. That thing used to be dreadful, but it tastes like the current Hartley, meaning a touch of vanilla, which I think that's the flavor they're using. I can't prove it. It's natural, not artificial vanilla flavoring. Grape leaves, white grapes. Could be using. I don't know what kind of wine, grapes. I don't know what kind of base wine they're making it from. Chablis, something. It's probably some industrial wine. You know what I'm saying? That it's not. They don't sell it at the store. It's just used for these kind of products. It's made by probably from E&J Gallo or somebody like that, and they just send it off to these companies. They say they order it. We want this base brandy. We'll add the flavor into it and all that. Yeah, okay. They buy it and do it. So no problem. And this from Italy. Some company in Italy probably makes well-known products, but they probably put out some commodity base brandy that you can buy if you're a big company and afford it and treat it how you feel like treating it. You could turn it into Tuaca, which is a famous brandy liqueur from Italy, or you could turn it into Hartley. Yeah, this thing is just buck wild on the vanilla. I don't dislike vanilla. Vanilla's okay. This might go well in coffee because it's already sweetened, but it's not the way brandy should taste. And I think Heaven Hill needs to get back on the ball on this and do some more work. I've never seen it in my town. I've only seen it at Total Wine and More. I'm not saying it's a Total Wine brand. It's not, because it's listed on the Heaven Hill website as one of their brands. But yeah, that's not cool. Hartley wins easily, and well, that's very common in my town in Louisiana. Hartley's common everywhere in Louisiana. I've even seen it in Kentucky. I have an English muffin with scrambled eggs with coffee sometimes. Bailey's Irish cream with my coffee. Yeah, I've had many Bailey's Irish creams, but I never had the actual original. I never had the original. Isn't that great? But the price is kind of high. $27. It's like $27, $27.99, and I got these other ones that are $11.99. $10.99, and people are telling me it's really not that different than the other ones. See, what happened was Bailey's introduced its product in 1974. They got bought by Diageo, right? It's only 50 years ago that they never had Irish cream liqueur in a pack. I mean, people might have made it at home, but in a package, a bottle, until 1974. And it was really popular. So guess what happened? People start mimicking it. In 1979, they came out with the Carolyn's. That's the second one, Carolyn's, which is a lot less expensive. And then it just went off where everybody started making Irish cream liqueurs. Carolyn's, Ryan's, Irish style, because actually made in the United States, but they mimicked the style. St. Brendan's and so forth. Just they all Mullins, which I see at Walmart. I bought a new bottle. All the other ones I've tried, they more or less taste the same. Now, Five Farms, yeah, that's a lot better. But it's $35.99 a bottle. It's worth it. You're going to pay. It comes in that ceramic bottle with the flip cap. Oh, McCormick's. That's right there in the mix. Tastes fine, McCormick's. But so, yeah, you can go higher and really pay the top price for Five Farms. It's going to be the best, probably, but it's going to cost you, it's the same amount. So you're not getting more. I tried it at my daughter's house. It was ideal. Stuff was ideal. All right. Anyway, Hartley is not ideal. Is without question definitely not the best brandy on the market. But for $8.99 on discount, can't go wrong. Really, it's fine. It's like a B, good, 8.3 out of 10, something like that. I know it's Hartley. Got it. This 1889 brandy. Sorry, I wouldn't buy it if it was $7.99. It's not proper. It's too flavored. Do I prefer Coors Banquet or Pabst Blue Ribbon if I had to pick one? Probably go with Coors. But it's like flipping a coin. I mean, either way, you're not getting much different. I mean, there are differences, but it's not a dramatic difference. Some people make it out like it's a dramatic difference. Somebody was taking issue with me, like angry. You always like those angry commentators. You know, you never heard from these people before in your life, and they're going to be angry. He was saying, "You're wrong. Light beers are not all the same." And he was giving examples of certain light beers. I said, I never said they were all the same. I told him in the response. You know, y'all know I always respond. I said, I said they're essentially the same in a practical sense, but there are subtle differences. It's true, there's subtle differences. Not enough differences to get excited about it or upset about it or like it's a big deal, because it isn't. If I'm buying light beer, and I do buy it sometimes, I'm gonna go with the cheapest price per ounce. And if I get Milwaukee's Best Light, I'm not losing anything. It's just a little different, but it's so minimal. Okay, I would say Coors Light. I find it funny. Some people find Miller Lite to be so highly offensive with how bad it tastes. Yeah, it's just the same. It's nothing offensive about it. They used to make Meisterbrow Light, but they got rid of it in favor of Milwaukee's Best Light, what I guess was selling a little better. They brought back Miller High Life Light in a regional sense. I don't know how long it's going to last. All right, but y'all take care. The winner is Hartley easily, and tomorrow we'll go bring in Bankers Club, bottled in New Jersey. Bankers Club versus Hartley. Bye-bye.